How's it going, everybody? How to not be a noob at C++? The answer is use a different programming language, and then you won't be anything in C++. Come on, think about it. Think about it. So, I have done things where the behavior of this is somewhat improved. The visuals are obviously a little glitchy still. It's fine, we'll fix it. However, by spamming, we sometimes... So you're supposed to cut off the river when we do that, right? Okay, right there, we do not cut off the river. For some reason. Here we do. See, it's something about if we just duck off it for a second. Like the thing that's creating the river ends up on top of or behind the thing that's erasing the river. I don't know. Let's try to repro that. So we're going to drain it. And we're going to try to go duck, duck. Okay, so there we got it. Control Alt Shift G. All right. So we've got a flow updater. East, east. Mode flowing forward. Flowing forward. We have no erasing flow updater. There should have been an erasing one. So we want to figure out what is happening. What is happening? Whoops. Why am I in the wrong file? So we want to see the thing. There we go. Here's where we make the erasing flow updater. Okay. We divert all the incoming flows. So pause is at the middle. Well, so it gets created no matter what. So the question is, under what condition It could be that we directly call schedule for destruction on this. Um, it could be that we set this die out variable. It could be that we're hitting this. Like if we're erasing and the ocean direction is none and we haven't, like we start on top of the thing. But we probably shouldn't. We should probably start off it, and that might solve this problem anyway. What if the headache is giving me powers? I have stronger powers without the headache. Sit up it straight and hydrate. I'm sorry, but anytime anyone on Twitch says hydrate, I just automatically think they're stupid. It's no offense, but like that's like one of those idiocracy things. It's got electrolytes. Why? I just do. Because I've seen it's just one of those common wisdom. Like people don't have any problem hydrating. What are you talking about? There's water all over the place. We're slamming liquids all day. What do you mean hydrate, right? First, it's one of these made up problems that people decided like they have to make it seem like sitting in front of a computer is a taxing thing. So they're like, you better hydrate. What's going to happen if I don't drink enough water while I sit in front of a computer? What's going to happen? I'm going to sag a little bit more in my chair. Am I going to stand up and fall down and die because I forgot to drink for 6 days? Do you have any idea how long people can go without water? It's a long fucking time. It's one way to get a headache. That's true. That's true. You guys know when you burn fat, it produces water, right? You guys know that? When someone on Twitch tells me to hydrate, I think that they're going to tell me their pronouns next, and it's going to be a long list of strange syllables that I've never heard before. How long can you go without water before someone reminds you to hydrate? Oh no, I'm drinking a LaCroix tangerine flavor. I hope I remember to hydrate. Guys, I live in Colorado, all right? There are people who fly here explicitly to go to places like Telluride up in the mountains where it's 8,000 feet, okay, to run 100-mile ultra marathons on extremely slopey terrain that goes up and down and 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 up and down through the mountains. Those are the people that need to hydrate, all right? Some goober playing Diablo 3, 4? What's the latest? They're all the same. It doesn't matter. Is it Diablo 4? Doesn't need to fucking hydrate, all right? Yeah, my particular headaches, here's what's going on as I have pieced it together. Um, I have something weird going on in the joints of my neck a little bit. I don't exactly know what. It's just a little bit compressed, and normally I don't feel it. But once in a while, I get full body inflammation, which a recent DNA test said I'm prone to because I have an overactive immune system for some reason, right? And so I get full body inflammation and I really feel it up in my neck and head, but it's actually full body inflammation. And that's become very familiar. Like I get what that is now when it happens, which I didn't used to. Um, so that's what this is today. It's not lack of hydration. Yeah, neck issues are not that fun. They're not my recommendation. Turning 50. No, dude, I had these neck issues basically for my whole life. I just didn't understand them very well. And the nature of them changed. They used to be a lot worse because I was less of a physical person. I didn't understand my body as well, right? Um, they're much better now than they were. We're going to do some cowabunga oriented programming. I'm not feeling creative, so they're not going to be like gnarly dude or anything like that. They're just cowabunga 1 and cowabunga 2, like a Dr. Seuss book. You've had similar and you're still sorting it out. Yeah, I mean, the number one thing that I can tell you, if you have any kind of neck or back injury, there's two things. One is you need to stretch, but not even at the site. You need to stretch things near it, right? So if it's in your lower back, you got to stretch your legs and your, you know, just all your hips and all that stuff. Um, if it's in your neck, you need to stretch your chest. That was my problem, is I needed to stretch my chest. And nobody, no doctor ever told me that. Um, Number two, you need to read the book about how back issues are actually compressed rage and you can magically solve them by stop suppressing your rage. And that's actually true. It's seriously a fucking thing. Okay. Okay, wait, that cowabunga 2, I think that might have been this one hitting the wall, right? Yeah. So we're not going to worry about that Cowabunga 2, but we're going to see what happens here. Okay, we didn't make it happen. We'll wait for that one so we don't get confused. So Cowabunga 2 is the normal ending. Okay, we didn't make it happen. Oh, you know, I was going to change where the updater lives anyway, right? Although this... Yeah, I'm actually not sure how this is going to look when we have it trimmed correctly again. How come I can't make it happen anymore? Oh, wait, that happened. We didn't get a Cowabunga at all there. That's weird. Okay, we're gonna take a different approach. Also, never go to a chiropractor. Yeah, I agree. Never go to a chiropractor. Okay. We're going to use a different technique. It is closely related to the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. This is where we really use this programming language, all right? So we know, at least we're pretty sure we're creating this thing. So here's what we're going to do. In our schedule for destruction, which is how entities get destroyed, I added this location. Okay. So check this out. I can go. If it's a flow updater, okay, if updater.mode is erasing, then we want to know about it. We're going to go s is tprint destroyed from whatever. So it's going to be the updater and the location. I'm going to game report this and log it. All right. Do that shit in C++. Maybe you actually can now. I don't know. There's so much crap in C++. All right. So we're going to test this. So there we go. Destroyed from move transaction 3323. The fader disappears fast, but we have it in the log here. So that's the normal one. And I want to see if I can get this weird thing to happen again. No. No. Aha! Lilies and Rivers 1504. Did you see that? Did you see that? Let them witness the power of this fully armed and operational battle station. Okay, this is weird. This is the one that I just added. This is the one that I just added. Supposedly, I'm confused because we make a flow updater. Oh, this is the flowing forward. Oh, on the restart though. Wait, what? I'm confused. So restart is what happens when we open the thing. But the restart should strictly be happening after the other thing. Oh, I guess. Right. I guess the point is the flow updater was created on top of the thing, and it hasn't left a square yet, as I suspected. This problem probably goes away if we just create it on the next square, which is maybe what I want to do anyway. So let's actually investigate that. So when we make this, so we want it to be, because I believe when we close the thing, we hard set the ocean to no flow under it. Um, all right. This might not be good. It's weird because we don't know. We don't really know how it's going to look when we make it less gimpy. Oh, look at that. I mean, and it didn't solve the problem anyway. What? So that time it happened just from move transaction. I think we actually want it where it was. Actually. Okay. Um. So here we could ignore any updater that's erasing. But then you still have this really spammy thing about, like, you could really spam this button, and then what happens? It makes a mess. You tried modules and it compiles 2x slower? I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. Hold on, I have to hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate. I bought ice cream because I was feeling bad because of this headache. I bought ice cream today, so we might go for some of that soon. Okay. We have a fundamental problem, which is as follows. Rivers flow pretty slow because that's the lily speed, and it's at the same speed. And we're not going to change that because we're trying to ship the game. Buttons that are hooked up to rivers like this are really spammy. They're really fast. Now, one thing we could do, I don't love this, but maybe it's the right thing, right? Sometimes in the game, we have nerd shit. Like you push something over a cliff and it has to fall a square before you can do another move. Otherwise, if that weren't true, you could break a bunch of puzzles by doing crazy stuff. Like, I pushed this thing off, but then teleported it before it fell. And like you can't design levels that way, or if you do, it's like the game would just feel a lot more messy than it does, right? So that's why we have nerd shit. We could put nerd shit here. We could say, look, if you push the button, then you block until um until the next river move. And that would prevent, because the problem is you could jump on and off of this button like 3 or 4 times in one water move. And then what happens? Like nobody understands what state it's supposed to be in, right? It could just be like, when you push the button, the force field it's attached to has so much momentum because of the weight of the water. It's more like it seemed like the crux of that one level. I know. I'm just saying, I actually think it is nerd shit that it does that, right? In the following way, like the game, to some extent, to a large extent, is about understanding the rule set of the game, right? And so the very concept of the game, on the one hand, kind of insists that you understand how everything works, and on the other hand, has these things that are kind of inscrutable that were okay if players never understand them, and we don't really want to build levels that push on them, right? It's just a weird, you know, not exactly a contradiction at the core of the thing. It's a tension at the core of the game design. If I don't fix the water flow, how will you get hydrated? I mean, I don't, you may never be able to get hydrated. I don't know what to say. In front of your strenuous bout of playing indie video games in front of a computer, you might die from lack of hydration. I am on a very high carb diet. I eat so many carbs, it's nuts. What if the button plays the Benny Hill theme before you can push it again? That's not a bad idea. It would solve the problem, okay? It would solve the problem that we are discussing. I mean, dude, I've been eating potato chips here while I was hydrating, and I've got ice cream in the fridge. I ate a giant snickerdoodle today. I ate a banana. Probably some other carbs. Usually I have more than that. Usually I have desserts for breakfast. It's great. How did I create the core concepts and mechanics of this game? I did not create the core concepts and mechanics of this game. They were borrowed from other games. So that's all you have to do. Just copy somebody else's game and, you know, profit or something. Do I have some sort of design document that describes what the plot and core gameplay? Generally speaking, I have never used design documents. Um, I never liked them the whole time I've been in the game industry. I think they're kind of for posers. Um, there are some cases in larger team scenarios when you do want to document what the design will be or is, even if it's implemented. Like some people might have questions about it, right? But for the most part, like the hard thing about a video game is not the game design. As stupid as that sounds, as much of a design person as I am, and I believe in doing challenging game design, like just making the fucking graphics run is way harder than making a really good game design. Um so like you shouldn't be blocked on the design. Like people shouldn't be waiting on knowing what the design is in order to do things. And if they have questions, they can just ask the design lead or whatever, right? Like you don't need 100-page thing explaining the game. People should be playing the game and understand the game, basically. On an indie team, there's absolutely no reason for a design document. When you get up to a team that's like 40 plus people, I could start seeing it. But again, the design, like, the design should be in the game, right? They should be able to run the game and play the game from the beginning, and then they know what the design is. Like rendering graphics is just unbelievably hard compared to everything else. Design docs are also typically used to explain the plan to the suits. I mean, yeah, I mean in the older days especially that was true, but now like the thing is, I mean, okay, I haven't pitched a game to anyone like that, right? Um but I don't think people want a design doc now. They want a deck, right? They want a deck that says, "Here's the basic idea. You have two slides that say, you know, um it's Dark Souls but for knitting enthusiasts and the people who like the RPG shop games or whatever." And that's your two slides that cover design, and the rest of it is how you're going to make money, right? How do you communicate the feel of the game and how it should look like to the artist and the composer? Well, here's the thing is you got to let those people be creative and help establish the identity of the game, right? Like we can have conversations about how it needs to feel, but a lot is down to like what the artists do and stuff. You forgot what you were saying because you were working on your game while he was talking. That is the right way to handle that situation. You were 100% correct in that situation. Here's the thing, like design docs, I think the reason they still persist among enthusiasts who haven't really made games before, like they think it's important because they can understand what that is. They can visualize what that is and they can believe that it's a stepping stone to the rest of the game. Like, look, here's a thing that says what the game design is. And I know how to do that. I know how to type a thing that says what the game design is, right? And that's fine, but like that's very far from an actual implemented game design. Like you can't really describe a game design very well linguistically. Like that just doesn't work unless it's very cynical, right? Um but like if you try to explain to people what they really need to do, it's a draw the rest of the owl kind of a situation, and they can't relate if they haven't made games before, right? Like if you draw owls all the time and someone says draw the rest of the owl, you're like, all right, bro, cool. Where what stage of flight do you want him to be in or whatever? Um, and so yeah, that's the thing is like people who want to get into games seem to frequently think that design documents are very important, and I think that's why. Is there any shipped game that matches its design doc very closely? I'm not aware of very many, although I haven't seen most design docs. We don't do them ourselves. The one that I am aware of is a really old game, NBA Jam, right? Way back when games were that simple. Somebody sent me the design doc for NBA Jam as an example of a good design doc, and it does describe what the game basically was. So at least one game matches its design doc. If you understand your game well enough to write a document, then why not just work on the game itself? Yeah. I mean, there is a little bit of a divide here. So the thing is, if you're a designer who can't program at all, then you at least need to communicate the design to the programmers who are implementing the design, right? But like again, it shouldn't be a document kind of a thing. You should be in a one room office with the principal game design programmer, and you should be talking to him all day every day, right? And you guys should be collaborating and getting the code going that implements the design. It should not be a document. All the online resources said so, make a design document. Yeah, well they say that again, they say that because they can't tell you to draw the rest of the owl, right? And the people writing those resources probably never made a game anyway, right? It was probably, some website that wants to get your ad revenue hits and just wrote some, it's like IGN writing something about how to make a game. They don't know how to make a game. Nobody writing for IGN knows how to make a game. Sometimes after writing for IGN, people go and get hired at game companies and then they learn how to make a game, but they don't know when they're there. You like the approach where you have checklists of things to do, fix, which become apparent as you carve out the design space. Yeah, that's more reasonable. I don't think of that as a design doc. That's just more like a to-do list, and that's a totally reasonable thing to have. People will give you advice they don't follow themselves. True, true, true. Okay, what do we do? Do I try this and see how it feels? Okay, I'm going to hack this. So theoretically, there are cases in which this could happen. Um, that are not player driven. And we don't want those to block the player, but just to test this out, we can do this. So this just says if we get to this code, wait, that's only if it's a restart. We actually don't want that there. We want it up here. Um, all right. So this is probably going to feel kind of shitty, but it might be preferable. Oh, all right. Yeah, see that? Okay, I'm going to run onto the button and off it as quickly as I can. Oh, that wasn't bad. So it kind of waits a random amount of time because the time that you step on the button, this actually feels okay. Like the time that you step on the button is at a random time in the ocean move, and the ocean moves are not that slow. I mean, this basically solves the problem, except I want to switch it back. I don't like... So first of all, let's get rid of this. I don't like the ahead thing that we did, this forward scenario. So let's take that out. Again, we're going to want the oceans to behave more smoothly, and we'll see. But yeah. Yeah, it actually doesn't feel that bad. We probably could do this for all transactions. But I'm going to be more sophisticated about it. And actually, we have another flag that could make it feel even more responsive. And that flag is as follows. Blocking player only until physical move. We'll get rid of our Cowabunga 1, Cowabunga 2. They have served their Cowabunga purposes. Okay, this isn't actually... So I realized something. That flag is going to mess things up because half the time that we step on the button, we're after the physical move anyway. All right, let's not do this. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Let's just have a parameter. Unintelligible and a mess. If okay. So let's put that here. We're just gonna pass that in. This function here gets called when something lands in the water, and then we check in all four directions to see if there's river going into that square from any direction. Okay. All right, so divert incoming flows. Who calls that? Move transaction in Sokoban. Let's look at Sokoban. Divert incoming. Update physical position. Fuck. Is this only called from transactions? No. Undo. All right. Transaction. So this is not going to be an optional argument. I'm going to force all the calling sites to provide it. And, all right. Is that the flag? Blocking player. Okay. So should block player. Okay. We could just pass the transaction all the way in. I don't know. Okay, so move transaction. Update physical position. Okay, undo. That will not be from a transaction. Null Holio. Divert incoming flows. Yeah, I probably should have just passed the transaction, but whatever. Here we don't, at least. Type given flags. Lol. Roller coaster. Roller coaster. I really deserve some ice cream for working on a headache night. It's really great. Roller coaster. Okay. Here we go. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah, so we make little bites out of it if we run on and off, but they're big enough to see. And it'll be better, once the graphics are better on the rivers again, it'll be better. Okay, so now we don't we don't really see the tail of the flow. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. But this was what I wanted to fix tonight. Maybe we'll play some cards as a break and we'll do something new. Honestly, though, we should run a Benny test on that because, you know, this river diversion code was non-trivial and could cause a crash or something. Oh, we're gonna get ice cream as soon as the Benny test succeeds. We don't want to jump too fast, right? Like we had that problem this morning. We thought we were done, and someone on the team was like, "Oh my God, some obscure thing is broken," and it's like, "Oh man, obscure but yet very important thing is broken." So we had to fix it. Fortunately, we fixed it fast. But that was I don't know if anyone was on that stream here, but if you remember, I had to go restart the build server because it was broke. I was like, why aren't we getting builds? We weren't getting builds because someone else on the team shut down the build server because it was messing everything up. And I didn't know that because I didn't check my email because I was on stream. And when I'm streaming, I don't, I try not to dox people by reading emails. All right. Benny test. Let's do some cards while we Benny test. Maybe we should go back to dungeon games soon. We've been playing a lot of cards. Did someone get fired? No. It was totally appropriate to shut down the build server in that case. It's just I didn't know that that's what was happening, or I wouldn't have restarted it, obviously. I mean, look at this board, guys. Although this 6-7 doesn't have anywhere to go. It's sad. Sad. Where's this 10 gonna go? There. There. We kind of want the 0-1-2 situation, don't we? So if we get gold 5, we get gold 6 also. So if I just throw these in the pit here, which looks like a very bad move, I admit it looks like a very bad move. We get gold 5 and gold 6, and then 10 can go on the jack and we get 2, 2. Um, that doesn't help us with the 6, 7, sadly. The 5 and 8 are super buried. Green king is he's an incel because the one person he could match with in the whole world is on Tinder and would never ever ever swipe right on him. So that's a problem. But we could put king up 8 on the 9, right? And then 7 7 would pop and then 8 and 9 would pop. I kind of want to do this. This could throw the game, but I'm going to do it. All right. King up, 7 on the 6, 8, 7, king. All right. So now we might be in trouble because of my rash behavior. Let's see if we can save ourselves. We could save the cheerleader. Can we save the cheerleader? All right, looks good. Looks good. I don't I am not seeing anything. I am not seeing anything. Do the 0 to 21 challenge. I sure could have done that in all the games of this that I've played. It's like trying to do the guide on Tarkov. If you fail anywhere in that range, you have to start over again at 0. I don't think you would ever finish. I don't know if I've ever won 21 games in a row. I might have. But like not playing like this, I haven't. All right. Maybe that was solvable, but I didn't see anything. And nobody in chat saved me. I just wanted to do it. It was rash, and I got a rash from doing it. So that teaches you something, right? So this 3, if I put the 6 in the hole, 5 in the 6, 3 and 4 go gold. And that's helpful. Oh, I could put the jack 10 on the 9 if I do that. That's great. That's great. And then I also have queen over here. If I do this, I can get the red 2. If I do this, we get green 6, which does not seem useful. So red 2. Red 2. Yeah, sometimes I do rash moves in this game just to make an interesting situation, right? That's part of the fun of it. This still looks like a total mess over here. I'm looking at all these cards. I'm just like, I don't know what to do with any of this. We need green too. It's way under there. Okay, let's do this. This is a swap-a-rooney. Will there be any multiplayer aspect to the puzzle game? Not in this game, but in future games that maybe are offshoots design wise. But it's too early to. Dude, we haven't even announced release date for this game yet. So, you know, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Okay, we could do this swap-a-rooney. That's great. And then we could do that swap-a-rooney. See, it's not so bad. Not so bad. Look at that. Look at that. Mm, swap-a-rooney. Swap-a-rooney. This is pretty chill. It's pretty casual. Pretty casual. Mm, I mean, this could be kind of a throw, but I could get 4. I can get 4 through 10. Oh no, because we don't have 3. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong color. I was looking at the wrong color. Gold king on queen. Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty. The last N moves that I've made were all like just very chill moves, right? So I'm not sweating right now. It's just also, I see a lot of moves where it's like fill all the slots and hope it works out. And we just got burned on that. So, like, I don't totally want to do that right now. But actually, this is fine. I read through this before and I didn't see that this 7 can go on the 6 here if I do the following moves. Right? So that's great. And then that gives us our slot back. And then we can do that. Do this. Do, I don't know. That was potential throw because I just didn't look very hard. I just threw a card into the slot. Hey, we get the priestess, which is our favorite card to end on for some reason. Um, and I bet the Benny test has been done for a while, huh? 1396. Hey. Okay. Yes, sir. How whoa. My microphone came unmounted from the desk. That was good. All right, 44 failed. That's what we expect. Mic drop. Okay, let's get the mic back. So I got this little desk mount. You know, you can't see because we're gonna have camera going, but it's a little desk mount. It's pretty good. It's a little loose. I could tighten it up, but like it's right. The microphone is mounted right now, right where I like to put my feet up when I'm being, you know, the the ultimate characterization of a 1950s male. So yeah, we don't want to check these in. We do want to check those in. Don't want to check these in. Do want to check those in. All right. Boom. That is a W. Now I do believe we get some ice cream for that. And then I'm not sure what we do. Do we keep doing game stuff? The thing is, the next game stuff I really want to put headspace into is either design stuff, which I don't want to spoiler, or um, there's also just checking in on playtest stuff and making small tweaks, but I don't want to spoiler that either. Let me get some ice cream and we'll think it through this moral choice about what to do. I really deserve some. All right, everyone, this is my first ice cream of the new apartment. It is Strauss Vanilla Bean. Yum, yum. I sure did get a lot of scoops of it. I'm going to let it melt a little bit and then mix it up. Maybe put a little hydration on it. You know? As a new OS, something I'm seriously considering? No. Um, I just have too much happening. I'm at my capacity to do what I can do. If I had like Elon Musk money, even if I had Elon Musk post PayPal money, which I believe was like $24 million or something, I would not be opposed to working that hard and making more things happen, but I do not have that kind of money right now. Easy, Sag. Actually, I think it was like 122 or something. I don't know what he had after PayPal, but anywho. Now that you're starting to need a large number of entities, most of your startup time is just taken up by loading all the individual files, which seem very slow. You're just using the standard Win32 file functions. I mean, here's the thing. When you're shipping the game, your entire level should be in one file. All right, you shouldn't be loading 7,000 entity files. We do that for source control purposes during development, but for the shipping game, they're packed into a binary file. 2, you should not do this gimpy Unix shit that everybody does where you read and then parse some bytes out. You load the entire file at once and then you read through it. It's much faster. 3, it should be a binary file, not a text file. If you do those 3 things, your 7,000 entities should load basically instantly. Yeah, 2 seconds is a really long time for 7,000 entities. There could be other factors. If you're heap allocating a lot of entity data, that might be taking some time if you have a slow heap function as well or whatever. But like, you don't want to be reading the file as you parse the file. You just load the file. It's not a big file. Your computer has billions of times more memory than you need for that file. You just load the file. $175 million. Yeah, if I had $175 million, I would start an operating system project today. For sure. I don't, though. Achievements are a huge drive to play the game to its fullest extent. Not really. No. I don't agree. I mean, if the game has something, if the game wants you to encourage it, if the game wants to encourage you to play it to its fullest extent, it can put something in the game that acknowledges that you did the thing. Like, why is it Steam achievement? Dude, Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't even have achievements. That's so baller. Who is the richest person to have played The Witness? I don't know. I definitely know some rich people who have played The Witness, but I can't tell you who is the top of the leaderboard. Are we launching Sokoban on physical release? There's no current plan for that, but if there's a good reason to do it, we'll do it. Something about them that's fun to unlock. I don't know. I mean, this might also be a how many video games have you played thing. But like after you've played a lot of video games that all had achievements, like the novelty wears off very quickly unless you have a mental thing about achievements, like some people have gambling addiction or whatever, which also doesn't seem good. I don't know. I mean, we will implement achievements for this game. That might be the thing to do next tonight. We do editable text format for the entities, but that's only for editing, right? When players play the game, they load binary entities. Um, yeah, so for development, yes, we have entities all in separate files. Depending on what you're doing, you may be able to speed up your file loading quite a bit. You may be able to load several entities in parallel, right? Um, your parsing may be really slow. Like, depending on what you're doing, um, you might find that whatever function you're using to parse floating point numbers or something is taking 90% of the time. So I would recommend profiling. If your concern is development startup. I mean, yeah. A game that uses two launchers. Yeah, like you've got Ubisoft whatever and then Steam at the same time. Good times. How do you manage yourself to always be in good economy condition to continue doing more cool projects? I mean, I don't do as good of a job of that as I could. I'll tell you that. But that's also an excuse. Look, if I had no money and I couldn't do the current company in the current form, we would shut it down and that would be fine. And I would still be doing cool projects. Like they would just be, downscoped a little bit or something, right? But like people who say, oh, I can't do my own thing, it's kind of nonsense. Like most people with computer skills can make some savings and then go live off that if they really wanted to. Do I ever eat like 2 pints of ice cream in a day? Um, I've probably done like one and a half pretty frequently. All right, that ice cream is gone. Devil Daggers has one achievement surviving 500 seconds. Yeah, but that could be in the game. Like, why is it an achievement on Steam.com? Whole entity load time is 118 microseconds. Loading the file is on average 98 microseconds of that. How are you loading the file? Yeah, hard disk or SSD makes a big difference, obviously. Create file W and then read file W on SSD. Okay. I mean, do you read the whole file at once? If you do, then yeah. Okay, well, I mean, you could try parallelizing it a little bit, right? You could try having one thread that reads the files and then another thread that parses the files, right? And I mean, the thread that reads the files would have to read. Sorry, I mean, what am I trying to say? It's not one thread that reads the files. It's one. Uh, you put the file requests into a queue, and you have n threads pulling file names off and reading the files, and then passing them to the people who parse them. And since you parse, right, if you parse in 20 seconds or 20 milliseconds or microseconds, then if you have approximately five threads reading and one thread parsing, you could get five times throughput, right, of what you're getting right now. Um, ideally. Now, that's if the nature of the slowdown in reading the files is such that it can be parallelized. Like I don't know. I don't know what's taking the time there for you, right? And like if this is for development time, you always just have to weigh things like how long is it going to take you to do this versus buying a faster SSD? Oh, dude, did you guys see this? Right? So typically you might get like a Samsung 980 Pro SSD, right? I don't know what the benchmarks are for these. I just want to see some numbers. Right? So um 5 gigs per second, that seems pretty fast and whatever, right? 39,000 Weissman score. All right. They just came out with Samsung 9100 Pro. It's got an extra digit. Um, all right. 85,000 Weissman score. It's more than double. It is expensive, right? Let's see. It's not that expensive though, right? Like 400 bucks. And so you got to weigh this like if it's for during development, how much time are you going to spend programming something to make this faster, right? And debugging it. And then like can you just buy this, right? Yeah, this is one of the things that's making me thinking about, like I said, this computer that I have right now is the best computer I ever had, but like I kind of could replace the storage because I'm doing this gimpy. Like when we bought it, they gave us like one terabyte or something. Yeah, like what the hell, right? So I had to put a secondary to fit the games and stuff. And then being on the D drive sucks because all your scripts have the wrong drive letter. Like It's the year 2525 and Windows still can't like mount things on root without a drive letter. Like that's one thing where Unix is objectively superior. Anyway, anyway, so I'm thinking about getting one of these and just keeping my current computer, right? 4 terabytes for $400. I mean, why don't I just buy it, right? I'm going to add it to the cart right now. Because who doesn't want that? Is that the highest end one? 4 terabytes. Nobody. Newegg has the same thing, 4 terabytes for double the price. 2 terabytes. Dude, Newegg is ripping people off. All right. Oh, from the pic, it looks like it's two of them. That would explain why it's double the price. Maybe they're not ripping people off. Yeah, I mean, at that point, okay, here's the thing. There's some other stuff that might be affecting the speed. Um, so for example, if those files are all in one folder, I forget around the number, certainly by 10,000 files, but maybe before that, Windows file performance starts degrading for some reason. Like the whatever the file system format is doesn't like that many files in one folder, right? So like you can put things in subfolders. Yeah, I don't know. The multi-threaded file reads is not that hard to try. Like you could even just do the parsing back in the main thread and just have a thread or a set of workers that just hands you back loaded file data in a queue, right? Like that's doable in like an hour or less. And you could just see if that helps. It might help you by a factor of five, right? And then that would be great. How so is 7,000 entities, is that like where you want to end up? Or are you still adding stuff or what? So one of the other things, um, you always have this question about what is an entity, right? Like, is every blade of grass an entity? Hopefully not. Um, but there might be one of these situations where it's like, oh, actually, we don't want this many things. Oh, I'll say one more thing. Okay, on the Sokoban game, we have a lot of entity files, dude. We have like 1 million files total or something. We don't load them all at once. I think it's 1.3 million, something like that. We don't load them all at once, so it's not as bad of a problem, but we do load them. It does take time. Um, and the thing that I realized is, like, I do think separate files are the best in terms of dealing with source control, but uh, oh, this also depends. So for the witness version, we handed out ranges of the ID space to people, right? I don't remember what I wrote up about this because it was so long ago, but we would hand out sub ranges of the ID space. Now we do something that's similar but a little bit different, where the ID for an entity basically has two fields. It has a user ID and a serial number for that user, right? And then the user ID is just allocated to people. And so they don't have to be in a flat ID range exactly, and that just makes it a little easier. We don't have to check if the range ran out and reassign somebody a new range and whatever, right? Um, but the thing that means is, you kind of could just store all the entities for one user ID in one file, right? Because mostly it's going to be that user editing those entities. It's not always true, but mostly. So if you sort them and just keep resaving the same file, I don't know, maybe you don't want too many entities in the same file, but like you could group entities into files that way and have substantially fewer files. You know what I'm saying? Could try mmap. Um, I don't see Unix nerd holios like this mmap thing. I think that's a red herring. Like, look, Windows has a file cache already. Like, if you open a file that's in the cache, it's much faster. So I'm not sure how mmap is going to be any faster than that. Um, you might have to upgrade your PC for the 9100 max speeds. The PCI Express lane gens matter. Okay. Okay, I might have to buy the 350-watt Threadripper for $8,000 and then go flip the circuit breaker every 10 minutes. All right. All right. How do we get random? Random. Slimes. Here we got slimes again. Can we remember how to play this game? Looks like a hard board, man. Okay, okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Recent YouTube video where I talked about optimizing my gameplay code. Did you already tackle the problem that you were describing? I remember talking about the general issue. I don't remember what specific problem. Um, so we have not yet, like, the thing about knowing who you are supporting is not in yet. That's something I want to do soon. Um, I forget. So in that video, I was talking about some foundational stuff that I wanted to do to get ready for that. I don't remember what that foundational stuff was. Why? Because Because I just do so much stuff. Like, just stuff goes in and out of my brain like really fast. Okay, so that's like that. Ha! Do, 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 do. Okay, we're going to use advanced reasoning. Ready? This only has two, right? Which means it's mostly empty space. If it's mostly empty space, it's going past this guy. So we go through here, we have to be going all the way up to this guy, right? So thus it has to be that. No, we looked at the CPU prices the other day. This CPU that I bought in 2020, January 2020 or sometime like that, today, if I buy it now off Amazon, it still retails for $1,700. That's how nuts these things are. Okay, and like we can't this has to be those because you can't get around otherwise. So we got to be like that. We got to be like that. See, I know about the slimes, guys. I know how to slime. I know how to slime. So this can't be the other open space, which means like that. I mean, if you don't know how to slime, I don't really know what to say. At least it's 2020 prices versus 2025 prices. Yeah, that's true. As sad as that fact is, yes, it is correct. Do, 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 do. Okay, there's one more hole somewhere. Hmm. Okay, so this here, there's only one wall here, so these have to be walls. Uh-huh. One, two, three, four, five. Dur. Dur. Do, 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 do. There's one hole here somewhere. There's a block there. That's a hole. There we go. We got the slimes, guys. See, I was rusty, but I got it. I got it. Oh, we got scythe, guys. What CPU did I use that was newer? We used one of the Intel CPUs that like fries itself. It was one of those. Good times. Good times. Okay, this has a lot of space in it, which means that can't be the hole. Well, actually, it could. I take that back. How come we get no treasure chests? Okay, so one of these, or maybe both, is a hole. Oh, right. Okay, because this is 7 and this is 3, it would right. It would be a gap behind the wall if it was there. So that's actually a wall. And the hole is here somewhere and it has to be I mean, this has to be like that, right? I don't I don't think there's any other way. This could be woefully wrong, but I don't think there's any other way for this to be. Let's find out. Do 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 do. All right, we got it. Slimes. We still aren't getting treasure chests. This one's interesting. This actually could be the passageway this time. It's kind of funny. Usually you see that and you're like, no, no. Oh, this is 7. Easy clap. Six row doesn't let that be the passageway. What? What? Do. I showed 3 open cells. What? What? Oh, you mean when I was doing this? I see. Well, it could have been like this, right? The oh no, it can't because of this guy. Oh, wait. Wait. Okay, so if it's here, we can't go there. We got to go there, which means we can't go there, which means yeah, we got to get out this way and we can't get out that way. So we're proving that that is a block. Okay. There's one hole somewhere, and it's got to be. So there's got to be a hole in this 5 row that connects to this guy. So that means those are like that. Because there's 1, 2, and there's one more up here somewhere, right? And it can't be there. Okay, so the other 3 can't be here. So that's like that. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Slimes. Oh, we got treasure chests. We got an easy one. We got mind flayers. What I learned from the Baldur's Gate game is that mind flayers fly spaceships. In D&D. That's what I learned. Wait, I screwed this up. Obviously. Wait, what? Okay. Hold on. This guy can't open to the monsters, so it actually has to be like this, right? This has to be some weird scenario. Do 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 do. Oh, we got a 0. Metal Gear Solid Zeros or whatever the hell. Metal Gear Zero. Metal Zero Gear. Pretty sure it has to be that. All right. We sure do have some diagrams today. We sure do have some diagrams. Okay, again, it has to be like this. I mean, I guess it could go out this way or something. Except not really. That would have to be that, and that's not going to be legal. So I can't go there. Okay. Do 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 do. Oh. Well, here's an interesting one. The treasure room cannot exit out the bottom here. Because if it did, this would be a wall, and we would have to get back up to this guy. But this could only have one hole punctured in it. All right? So you can't go down and up. So you have to go over and down. Okay? QED. QED. So then we know we must go through here. So that's a hole. Okay. 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 Uh-huh. See that? Now you're thinking with portals. Now you're thinking with portals. All right. Do 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 do. Okay, wait, there's only two in the bottom, right? So if that's a block, we're dead because that can't and that can't. So this has to be open, right? Am I hallucinating that? This cannot be a block like I have just marked. Because this corner could never be valid. So that has to be like that. Okay, so we could have these two and then this goes out, except no, we can't. So if we have that, this connects to the treasure room and then we're dead. So we can't close this. So this has to be closed, which means 1, 2, which means that. All right. That gives us some information like that. Whoops. Whoa. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. We may have jumped the gun on this. You could actually come out like that. I was overzealous filling in that wall. I think we actually just proved that you have to. Because if that's a wall, then this, right, which means these. Okay, that's a no-no. In fact, only one of these could be a block, which means these have to be blocks. All right. Fuck. So sometimes you just got to start over. Okay? Sometimes you just got to start over. All right, so again, if this is a block, wait, what did I say? Yeah, if this is a block, we only have one other block, and so this corner could never be valid, so that has to be open, so that has to be closed off. If this goes this way, it connects to the treasure room. Therefore, it must go that way. Okay. Now, thing number one that I was wrong about, that doesn't mean the other block is here. The treasure room could be there. Treasure room could be there. Okay. Either one. So that was an issue. Okay. This cannot be the opening. So that's like that. So now you got treasure room 3 wide, and then this is 1 wide, which means these definitely have to be locked off. Okay, this goes here, and that means both of these are filled, and that's the opening. Okay. Okay. We got that. This, therefore, has to go to the treasure room. Like that. Okay. So this has to be open. That has to be open. All right. We got it. Sometimes you just got to revert to Williams. Revert to Williams. 7. Oh boy. Oh boy. So this is 3 high somewhere, which means that's solid. Because everything but the treasure room is solid. Metal Gear Solid. You know how it is. Whoops. Okay. This is how it stands. Okay. Do 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 do. All right. Try again. The hole can't be down there. Wait. Yeah, it couldn't because the same. If it were, we wouldn't be able to cross back to this guy. Okay. So that is, I believe, the scenario. Oh, look. Didn't even notice that guy. Okay, we fucked up already. How did we? Okay, first of all, there's that. Let's just do that, all right? So we were saying 7. Yeah, it can't. So, for example, it can't be this because then we could never connect to that guy, right? So, really, these bottom 3 have got to be walls. Whoops. Right? Maybe that was wrong, but I don't see how. That's a 5. So this can't be the one. This can't be the one. I still have not gotten the nerve to watch Andor episode 3. Fuck. What am I doing wrong, guys? What am I doing wrong? I am making a foolish error. Maybe it's got to be this 7 thing. I'm doing something wrong with that. But I don't feel like it's wrong. I mean, look, the treasure room can't cross the 7, right? So we know this is like that. And well, I don't know. Bottom treasure 1 block up could be. Could be. I'm gonna go with this again. I feel like that's just factual right there. But that doesn't mean the 5 is here. It could be there and then we go around somehow. It's true that I was jumping the gun on the 5 there. All right. That can't be the hole. However, this has to go 4 and then one of these. All right. And really, same here. This has to go 3 and then one of these. All right, well, that makes sense how we got that wrong then. Ta-da! Okay. Do 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 do. Okay, so there's one hole here. It has to be above this block. Block. There has to be one block here. That means no on those, and that means open. And it can't be this side. It's got to be that side. Okay, these can't both be open. So, but they can't both be blocked because that would cut us off. So one has to be open here and one has to be open here. The open one can't be this one. So we must get to that guy like that, which means that. I mean, I'm sure this is all quite obvious. I'm just taking a slow boat. Oh, we got the creepy dudes. We got the cultists, the Tarkov cultists. It's the Tarkov cultists after all. This one looks hard. How are we supposed to deal with this? We are gathered here today to figure out the Tarkov cultists. All right. It has to go here because otherwise there's no way this is as low as, like, otherwise it would be that, or it would be, it could be that. Like, really though? We're just speculative fictioning this version out. Like, I wouldn't have thought that this is right. No, so that's fucked right there. Okay. That was just a wild what if. All right. So, why did I say this? Because, well, we don't know. Let's just leave that at we don't know. How do we do this one, guys? This looks hard. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go to bed. I feel really tired. So we will leave the creepy dudes here and we'll come back on this one later. We did some gaming. Yeah, I'm drowsy earlier than I would be. It's only 10 p.m., but like I said, I had this gnarly headache all day, and I think that made me tired. I'm getting older. No, I'm not. I turn 20 next year. God. All right, here's what we'll do as a last couple of minutes. We're gonna do achievements because we need these on PlayStation at least, right? All right. Um, what else? What else do we want to give achievements for? Oh, I'm not gonna spoil. This is enough for now. So we're gonna say is this still a thing? Like when we did Braid and The Witness, I did a whole thing where we would like after we load your save game, we would re-grant you the achievements just in case they didn't go over the frickin' network or whatever, you know? Okay. So, don't they need a visibility flag? You've gotten hit with not properly being granted achievements before. How long ago, though? $2024? Okay. So we'll still do that then. We'll plan to do that. All right. So we're going to go into campaign. We're going to add a new thing. Campaign state. Achievement bits. Save campaign. So that's right after gameplay duration. Builder CS achievement bits. So by the way, we need campaign file version 22. Gameplay duration. See how easy it is to do this stuff. Easy clap. All right. It's always fun to add a new file, right? Oh, it's in game. No, not X674. I wish I had an X674 processor. Oh, you know what? I thought I was in C++. Easy clap, guys. Now let's see. Do I load our save game correctly? Too many achievements. I mean, those are the natural ones, man. That's all I gotta say. All right. We're exiting to the overworld. Hey, look. I went out of the map, but it's fine. I'm allowed to go out of the map. You're not. Okay, you please don't go out of the map. Please. Please don't go out of the map. All right. Oh, that looks better. Check out that teleporter, guys. When did we get new teleporters? That's baller. Are they all like that? Yeah. Oh, dude. Bro, it's like a real video game. It's like some teleporter from Diablo or some shit. All right. Do I add any safeguards for unexpected things like that? Um, in this game, it's not really a problem because you can undo if you end up outside the map, right? Um, yeah, there's other things that I don't totally want to spoil that we might add some kind of guardrails like that for. Yeah, we'll do a screenshot Saturday where I'm just like zoomed in on the teleporter. Castaway. All right. I don't know that game. Bro, check out the teleporter. It's so cool. All right. Um oh, it's so good. It's so much better. It's so much better. All right. Um so now we got to quit and we got to see if we load our save game again because now we will be version 22. Ta-da! Like people are so afraid of serialization, but like it's not hard when you understand what's going on. Usually, once in a while there's a little issue. All right, add a file for achievements. No backends are yet implemented. And that was our, just do one more thing while you're tired late at night. You do an easy thing. It gets you closer to the game being done. Just just one titch closer to the game being done. We're not granting the achievements yet. That can come some other time. All right, thanks everyone. Let's try raiding again. We actually successfully raided this morning. So, hmm. Let's see what we got. I got to set dark mode on Twitch. Randy, is Randy the Rust guy? Is he actually making a game in Rust? Is there actually going to be an actual game in Rust at some point? Odin. Oh, okay. Sad. Um, well, Sninko Games making cards. Someone's modeling a cat. Programming and chill. Programmatic building in Minecraft. That doesn't look like programmatic building in Minecraft. All right. Coding butter. We're not, late night doesn't seem to be the time to do this. Adam is like, yeah, we'll raid Adam C. Eunice again. Wait, did he switch games? He hasn't finished his platformer game, dude. That's fine. I understand. All right, thanks everyone. See you later.